AM 1300 WMEL, sponsored by AVET Project. Glenn, we have another guest.
Yes, we do, and as usual, I'm going to let you do the honors.
Oh, certainly. We have with us the Safety Director and Public Relations Manager for the Abate Brevard County Chapter. Right here is Suz Skinkle. Say hello, Sue.
Hi, how you doing?
Suz, you're so involved in so many different things, and I know how near and dear cancer and defeating cancer is to you. We'll talk about the motorcycle affiliation for a moment, but since we had Tina Greene on first, and the fundraising fashion show, as well as what we're going to talk about, giving cancer the boot, tell us a little bit about your history regarding the cancer situation.
Family cancer ran hot and heavy in my family. I found my first lump at age 28, which is young, and after that point, it just like tumbled and took off with me. The tumors just like grew, and back in '06, the doctor sat down and told me, he goes, you gotta make a decision. It's you take both breasts or you just take your chances from this point out. They sent me to the Johns Hopkins Avon Cancer Center, and they sat down Dr. Tramontana and Dr. Rosen, the two cancer doctors there, and we decided, yep, it was time. Took me in. My surgery went from 8 to 10 hours because of complications. And afterwards, they sat down and said, if we did not take your breast now, in 6 months, you would have had full-blown cancer. So they just got it just in time.
Just in time. Hey, at least it was just in time. So you're a cancer survivor. That's outstanding.
I am a cancer survivor.
And Glenn, as you mentioned, there are lots and lots of treatments, and the survivability rate of many kinds of cancer now is increasing.
It definitely is, and I think they're making inroads into different types of surgeries and ways of conducting the surgeries. With these mechanical surgery arms, I guess, is what it looks like to me, that where they don't actually have to have a person cutting on you with a knife, so to speak. It's done internally. With the infrared microwave type process.
So less invasive, higher success rate.
Yeah.
And Sue, so aside from being a cancer survivor, and again, getting back to some of your activities with Abate, for everybody that's out there that doesn't know, it's kind of a nationwide organization, which is a motorcycle rights organization, hoping to increase awareness and safety about motorcyclists on the road. And you wear a couple different hats with the local Abate chapter.
Abate is American Bikers Aimed Towards Education. So we go out. So
that's what it stands for,
yes,
Abate.
Yes, Abate. So we go out and we are fighting for bikers' rights on the road. I am the Safety and Public Relations Director, which I go out and I teach motorcycle safety and to teach the safety rights, safety on the road to people who may not be aware of how to look for motorcycles on the roadway. My first thing when I talk to people is, how many blind spots in a car for a motorcycle? First responses for everybody is 4. Well, that's for a car. It's up to 14 for a motorcycle. Hold your thumb up in a car, and anything a thumb can hide behind, a bike can hide behind.
So all kinds of blind spots. That's your first lesson.
All kinds, yes. And people are like dumbfounded. They did not realize 14 blind spots for a bike.
And you are a very committed woman to this cause, because every event that AVET Project participates in, you're right there along with us, and I know you do so much more. Abate, and you're encouraging everybody, both members of Abate and the general public, whether they ride motorcycles or drive their car, to come out to the Give Cancer the Boot, which is happening on March 3rd.
Yes.
We want to tell you folks, it's going to be a fun event with a serious undertone. The idea is we're going to provide programs and services through AVET Project, but we're also going to share some of the proceeds with Relay for Life. The Camp Holly is such a unique venue, and we're asking folks they can get started at Big Papa Sports Bar and Grill at 9 a.m. for breakfast. That's, again, a week from today. If you're listening outside the area, if you're in North Dakota or Vermont, folks, just get involved. There's other ways and there's other programs. You can do it yourself. But if you're here on the Space Coast or in Central Florida, we encourage you to come out to AVET Project's Give Cancer the Boot, because it's going to be lots of fun. Camp Holly's a really unique venue.
Yeah, I kind of like that. It's reminiscent of the old fish camps that you would have seen in Florida many years ago. It's kind of still the same there, but it's a wonderful place, and great people that own that there, and they've been supporters of many fundraising activities for our community through the years, and it'd be a great place. That's 11 to 4 for lunch at Camp Holly, going with this boot the cancer project.
Give Cancer
here.
the boot, yeah. And Doc Holliday is going to be our rock and roll MC DJ for the day. You're going to hear the advertisements, the promo for this throughout the week. We just encourage you to go to avetproject.org. avetproject.org. We're going to take admission. It's a $10 donation. Again, that's a $10 donation to have a whole day of fun. You don't have to get started at Big Papa's Sports Bar and Grill in Rockledge. You can start from wherever, but end up at Camp Holly between 11 and 4, which is, what's the address there, Glenn?
The address there is 6901 Highway 192, Melbourne, Florida, 32904. But again, that's on US 192, and it's west of Interstate 95.
Yeah, it's real easy to get to. When you come upon it, you'll see it real easy. They got boat rides, they got fishing. We're going to have a bounce house, and like I said, DJ Doc Holliday is going to be there. Now, Suz, you're involved with the safety aspect, and also you're in public relations. That's why we wanted you to come on today. Abate's going to be out there as well, right?
I am planning on being there also. Now, on the thing about the cancer ride, we have a cancer ride also on March 4th. Young lady Mary Blackie Burdette. We are starting at the Roadhouse on 520 at 10 o'clock. And it's starting out the Roadhouse. It's going around to several of the local bike clubs. And we're raising money to help her with her medical bills.
What's a little of her backstory?
Like she has ovarian cancer. And right now she is not working. She needs assistance, collecting food, money, anything to help her out.
And is she a member of Abate?
No, right now she's not a member of Abate, but she has bartended at several of the bike events that Abate has funded with. So she is an Abate supporter. So we are out there strongly recommending, if you even drive a car, come out and help with this.
That's the thing, folks. You don't have to be a motorcycle rider. This isn't specific to motorcyclists. If you're in a, as we call them, cages.
Cages.
Yeah.
Come out and support. Come out and help. If anything on wheels, come out and have fun. So is that the
What's the date and time again?
Okay, it's Sunday, March 4th at the Roadhouse on 520. And the sign up is at 10 o'clock. Last bike in, back at the Roadhouse at 4 o'clock. We're having food, 50-50, raffles, anything is appreciated, donations. It's going to be a great day. It's also Roadhouse's Sunday Jam. So it's going to be plenty of music.
Sure. Now, at both events here, the Give Cancer the Boot at Camp Holly and the event you just mentioned, you're going to have the ability for folks to sign up membership for Abate.
Yes.
What's required to be a member of Abate?
You do not, as there's a myth, you have to have a bike to join Abate. No, you don't. We have people who's never rode a motorcycle that belong to Abate. All you need to know is that you respect the roadway, you want to learn the safety of the roadway, and share the road. It's only $20 a year to join Abate. And you can go to our website, brevardabateflorida.com, get the information, mail it in.
Now, that's the Brevard County chapter.
Brevard County chapter.
Okay, say the website again.
And it's nationwide. You can go to Abate, your state, click it on, and you can find your local Abate.
So if you went to a search engine, Yahoo or Google, and typed in Abate, you can find a local chapter, whether you're in California or
anywhere. Just your state, Abate, it'll pop up, click it, and you can find your local county chapter. And also, Abate is trying to get all the Abates nationwide. Can you see me now?
Tell us more about that.
It's a nationwide, actually it's a worldwide day for motorcycle safety awareness, which is the month of May. The third Sunday of May is the nationwide motorcycle awareness day. And Brevard County, at all the American Legions, is riding up to Destination Daytona, and we are meeting with Newt, the Cobb Crippled Old Bikers Bunch at Destination Daytona.
Folks.
and we are going to meet there. Last year we had over 700 bikers there. Had a great time. This year we are trying to double it. So if you get on Facebook, Ken with the letter U, see me now. The information's all there. Keep an eye out in the newspaper, online. We are posting the information now.
And the thing is, this is a nationwide effort.
Nationwide effort.
Brevard County Abate is taking the lead here locally, and we've done pretty successfully. Last year was a great success. Newt and his bunch down there, Cobb and Kissimmee, are wonderful folks. They participated in huge numbers last year, and I'm sure that's going to even increase this year.
Oh yes, we're increasing.
Destination Daytona. Now we're talking months out, but you know, let's
May's
start
coming
thinking about it. Exactly.
May's coming as fast.
I mean, we're already through February, right, Glenn?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we have 11 states have always said that they are going to participate that same day with us. So that's a good sign. We have over 100 bikers that said they are going to be with us in Brevard County, riding up already. So we are on a roll.
That's
we are ready to go.
Boy, you're doing some great work there too, helping out extremely important charities and diseases, and get some help in the medical community to try and improve care for cancer victims. And I know we were talking a little bit before we got on the air. Give us, I understand you had some information, personal stories about military and your family.
Yes, my mom had 8 brothers. All but 2 were in the military. 1 was highly decorated.
Wow.
My father's family.
That's a commitment to serving the country.
Yeah, 8 brothers, and 6 of them were in the military. My father's family was in Look magazine during World War I, and my grandfather actually did the Minuteman neighborhood watch program in Funkstown, Maryland, and they did a section in Look magazine about them participating in doing that. In World War II, my dad was in the Marines, Special Ops.
But you didn't find out about that right away, I understand.
No, my dad kind of kept that a secret until the last couple of years of his life, and then he slowly let that sink out. So I wish we kind of knew more about it and find out his history. And the amazing thing was my mom had all his papers, never opened them up in his desk drawer until close to time he passed, and we wanted to know what was going on, so we opened them. Everything was fingerprinted. Everything was classified, where he was at and everything was out Quantico. So we still don't know what he did. So it's like, all right.
There's a lesson there, folks. And that is, if you have a family member, whether it's an aged uncle or your father or father-in-law, whoever, and they served in the military, there's always a potential eligibility for a benefit. Right, Glenn?
Absolutely. And all you have to do is get them talking about it. And I understand fully what was the situation with your dad over there, because I had the hardest time with Marines and getting them to open up and tell me what went on, whether they were involved in classified operations or not. And for all my Marine brothers and sisters out there, I want to encourage you to be a little more open and come see us, and we can probably find some help for you with benefits that you may be unaware of that you're eligible for. And that's what we do, and you get first-class service at our place.
But you charge a whole bunch of money.
Yeah, our favorite word again here, we're free. Absolutely free.
The County Veteran Service Office is located in the Vieira Government Complex, Bravo Building.
Bravo Building, first floor, can't miss it. There's all kinds of signs with arrows to our office, and you can call us at 633-2012. That's 633-2012. And again, we're there to serve you and help you because of your service to our country, and we're proud to do that.
Don't let it go the way that Sue's dad did, where it's all kept secret until it's too late. If you can get your friend, relative, or whoever served honorably in the service to start talking about their experience, even eligibility to health care is going to be a benefit in today's economy.
Yeah, and that can be tied in directly to whether you have a service-connected disability or not, as to how easy or hard it is to get eligibility for VA health care. So it's all intertwined.
And Suz, again, I want to just thank you so much for joining us on American Warrior Radio. You're doing so much, and you help AVET Project in so many different ways. You've got that event coming up. When does Abate hold its meetings? You guys have monthly meetings, right?
Okay, we have monthly meetings the first Tuesday every month, and they are
First
held
Tuesday of every
first
month.
Tuesday every month at 7 o'clock. We moved it back to 7. And it's at the American Legion, Post 22 in Cocoa, under the water tower on Peachtree Street.
Can't miss that,
Can't
right
miss
by the
it.
water
Nope.
tower.
Can't miss the water.
No, they can't. If you show up at 6:30, they will serve meals. They've been cooking little meals for us. Great food, reasonable price.
And folks, whether you're a motorcycle rider or not, give it a try. Show up. There's always some
Just
interesting
come and
guests that
see
show
what
up.
we are about.
Yeah, and I encourage everybody, because Abate's a great organization. They do a lot of good. You're all familiar with the toy run, which
Yes,
happens
we are.
every.
We do that every year.
Major
and
fundraiser
it's a
for you.
major fundraiser. It is huge. We need more help with that. It's work. It's much work.
It is.
And we need help with this.
But if we can address Can You See Me Now with the same vigor that's placed towards the toy run, I think it's going to be a smashing success. Last year we were fortunate enough to have our governor, Rick Scott, actually proclaim Motorcycle Safety and Awareness Day.
And he did again. This year we have 5 proclamations this year declaring Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month. 5 of them this year. Last year we had 2. This year we have 5.
And give the address again. I think you mentioned a Facebook page where folks can go and learn a little bit more about this.
Yes, we have a Facebook page, Abate, Florida, FL, Brevard. We have a link that has all the local events. If you say there's nothing to do, we don't know where all the bike events are, you go into that, hit events. I have a whole list.
And when you become a member of Brevard County Abate, because there's 2 chapters here, Independence and Brevard County Abate. Full disclosure, I'm a member of Brevard County Abate. The newsletter that Earlene and Jonelle put out is phenomenal.
It's awesome.
I mean, it's getting better and better. The last publication looked like it came out of New York City or something.
Oh,
it's
very
well
professional.
done.
It's great.
And
She's done an awesome job.
Really, and you do too, honestly, everything you do. Again, folks, Abate is going to be present at every single event AVET Project sponsors everywhere we can fit them in. The big one coming up is Give Cancer the Boot. Give Cancer the Boot. Let's talk a minute about Agent Orange, though, because that's how we tied this in with Relay for Life, Glenn. Vietnam veterans are terribly affected with this.
Yes, and there are, I think about 13 presumptive diseases that are...
What do you mean presumptive?
Well, presumptive means that if you, unfortunately, are afflicted with one of the presumptive conditions, let's say lung cancer, and you had boots on the ground in the Republic of Vietnam, then you can get that service connected, slam dunk. It's just a matter of submitting the paperwork with something that shows that you're diagnosed with, in my example, lung cancer. There's prostate cancer. There's some that don't apply to many people, fortunately, but there's a whole list, and we have them at our office. Even Navy veterans now that went upriver, and there's a growing list of ships,
There really is.
boats that did that, are eligible under the law that affects this. Right now they will recognize that if you were in Thailand and you were a security policeman, then you can get presumptive conditions because you're presumed to be exposed. We're working on that for other veterans. I don't know how you can say that they used extra sticky Agent Orange in Thailand and it didn't get in the air. And then there's also a period of time where veterans who served in the demilitarized zone, the DMZ in Korea, are also recognized as being exposed to Agent Orange. And again, that's another battle to be fought. I'm fighting one right now with a case because they denied it because the person was in the DMZ after the years that they recognized that the spraying was going on. Well, Agent Orange has a half-life, depending on whether it's in the soil or above the soil, on foliage and everything, of somewhere between 3.5 to 15 years.
Oh my gosh.
And this person was there like a year after the period of time the VA recognizes, so that's makes no sense because they recognize it in Vietnam because of the quantity, I guess, that was used for anybody that
It was
there.
ubiquitous. It was used throughout. To what was the purpose?
Well, the purpose was to defoliate areas to take away cover for the enemy and be positive for our combat troops so that they didn't get caught in ambushes and those kind of things. And so the purpose and the intent was great. The outcome was horrible.
And so many Vietnam vets are afflicted with prostate cancer and other types of cancer. They've recently expanded that list of presumptive illnesses. So if you are a Vietnam era veteran and you've come down with some nasty diagnosis, you basically need to call Glenn.
Yeah, and the ones Garen is talking about here are ischemic heart disease, which is basically almost any kind of heart disease except valvular heart disease.
Or hypertension.
Or hypertension, yeah. And Parkinson's disease, and then the B-cell type leukemias.
So they've added to that list, and again, we have to go hats off to Secretary Shinseki because, strangely enough, there were some Republican senators that fought him on expanding this list, but he persevered and made it happen.
Yeah, and the big one, of course, as you might imagine, was the heart problem, and as an extra benefit, if you will, veterans who had filed for a heart condition disability in the past and were denied because it wasn't recognized as presumptive caused by exposure to Agent Orange, then under a court case that goes back as far as 1985, were able to get an effective date back to that first time that they filed, all the way back to as much as 1985 when the court case was made.
That's that Niemer case.
Niemer, yep. And they got, you probably, if you're a veteran and you're involved with a Niemer case, you probably got a piece of correspondence about 4 pages long, talks about Niemer, and you don't understand a word about it, bring it to us. We'll help you out.
The object lesson there is get involved. If you know that your doctor's diagnosed you with some horrible disease that may be on this presumptive list, it behooves you to find out more about it because it's real compensation. Think of it like this, folks. When you're in the civilian workforce, you have workers' comp. If something happens to you, you're going to be covered for injury, disease, disorder, illness, something like that. When you're in the military, your government issue, you're 24/7, 365.
That's right.
So this is the VA's way of making good on that contract.
Absolutely right, and that's an excellent analogy there, Garen. And again, we want to go through. I guess we've talked about being a veteran and you're entitled to this, that, and the other throughout the show today. And let's cover again who's a veteran, because there's so many of you out there who don't believe you're a veteran. A veteran is anybody who served their country without a dishonorable discharge. And then there's case by case. If you have less than an honorable discharge, that the VA will determine your eligibility. But it's not people who are retired. All retarees are veterans, but all veterans are not retirees. You just had to have served.
Exactly. And we've had everybody from astronauts to race car drivers. Okay, if you've been listening to American Warrior Radio, you know who we're talking about. But even Jeff Bodine, this wonderful man who is a NASCAR legend, won the Daytona, which starts tomorrow.
Exactly.
Heard right here on WMEL, so listen for that. He didn't recognize that he was a veteran, even though he'd been 6 years in the National Guard.
Yeah, and that's just there's an epidemic out there. The military for a long time did a really bad job on telling people anything when they got through. They just, here's your DD-214, thank you very much, we'll see you later. Now they have a transition assistance program, that if you go to, you can't but know all the benefits you possibly are entitled to. If you skip out on that, shame on you, because you miss out on a lot of valuable information. But if you're in that group that's a little older, back in the 70s and before, you need to come see us about the potential benefits, or give us a call again at 633-2012, or we're out in Bravo building.